Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and today I am reviving my ABH OG Norvina palette. If you're new to my channel, welcome, or if you are new to this series, every month I pick a palette, an older palette within my collection that needs a little love, and I pull it out and I create a couple of new looks with it. Usually I try to strive for new looks that I have never created with this palette before. This is the second look you're seeing now, and with all of that said, let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, let's get into the first look. I have the ABH eyeshadow primer on today because when in Rome, and I think we're gonna start out with the shade Rose Gold right here. This is a shade I haven't used a ton. I definitely used it in my initial review. So I'm gonna apply this almost all over the lid, like the outer 2/3 of the lid, and bring that up to meet the crease. I'm in an odd mood. It's like day 2 of the stay-at-home order here in Colorado, and don't come for me, okay? But I'm a real homebody, and so far, and surely this will change down the road, but so far I'm feeling kind of relieved that I don't have to go anywhere. Then I'm going to take this little smidger brush and pick up the same shade and put that on the lower lash line, specifically on the outer 2/3, just like on the lid. Now, for the fun part, I'm going to go in with this sort of like mid-size duo fiber brush. Just a mid-size brush will do, providing you don't have eyeshadow in your eye. And I'm just going to blend this softly into the crease. I don't want to bring it up too high because I am going to come in with a matte shade to sort of buff out the edges and just add a little bit more color to the look. But speaking of the stay-at-home thing, you know, I don't know, I don't think my siblings are the same way, but for me, I think my parents growing up were visually impaired, and so we didn't ever just like jump in the car and go places. Like, it was a planned thing. A lot of times it was, you know, going out to eat or like just things we needed to do, like grocery shopping, and we would take a cab, or there was times where we, you know, had drivers that were sort of on call for us. And so, you know, we didn't go out a whole ton. Taking a big fluffy, I'm gonna go into this pink shade right here called Love, and just use this. Oh, holy moly, it's so soft. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Yeah, look at the kick up. Holy moly. All right, so I'm gonna pick that up, and I'm just going to run that along the edges of Rose Gold. And like I've been mentioning recently, I kind of like to blend up toward the end of my brow, or where it should be. And, you know, and then soften the edges. We may go back in with a little bit more Rose Gold on the lid if we need to. And in case you're wondering, all of my makeup in both looks will be listed down in the description box. I'm gonna go back into Rose Gold and just make sure we have enough of that on the lid. Just with all the blending, it kind of took away some of the shine. I think I'll take a little bit of that pink shade Love on that same smudgy brush and just, you know, add a little bit of that to the lower lash line. I don't like to do too much pink on the lower lash line because it can make me look sicky, but I think we're okay with this one. This is the tricky part. I can't decide if I want to go in with Dreamer on the inner part of the lid or Wild Child. I think I'll save Wild Child and go in with just a little bit of Dreamer. I'm gonna put that on a flat shadow brush. This is such a pretty shade, Dreamer, though. It's a really beautiful, oh, in the eye, It's a beautiful shade, that's all. Pull that up a little bit just to lift the eyeball. One thing I will say that I've noticed over the last 2 years or so that I've been using ABH shadows, they're not super texture friendly, are they? Last but not least, I'm gonna go in with the shade Base on my inner corner and my brow bone. While this is like a matte shadow, it performs more like a satin or something like that. It is very brightening, and actually this one is pretty texture friendly. So I'm going to place that in the innermost cavern, pull it up in front of the highlight shade Dreamer, and also kind of wrap it around the tear duct a little bit. I will say I'm dying to get outside. It's been crappy yesterday and today. It's like cold and windy. I think it's supposed to warm up after that, but Lord, I'm ready to get outside. I want to get my hands in some dirt. I have tons of houseplants that could use some repotting, like freshening up of soil or bigger pots or what have you. So I'm ready to do that. I'm really loving this look. I like the way we came out today. So I'm gonna pop off of here, do some liner and mascara and a lip, and we will come back and wrap it up for this look. Ta-da! We are back. I'm feeling very feminine in this look. Threw on a sweater, got my pearl earrings and my hair doodad, and this is the final look. I finished off the eyes with my Wet n Wild eyeliner in Simma Brown now. The Milk Kush mascara, it's the only one I have open, so beware, you'll be hearing about it a lot. And then for lips, I have my Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips lipstick in the shade Glowing Gen, which is a pretty rose color, and I just thought it looked nice with this look. So let me know down below what you think of this first look. Definitely have not created a look like this from good old Norvina here. I will see you tomorrow. Welcome to the second look in reviving my ABH Norvina palette. I think I'm gonna go pretty neutral today if I'm being honest, but that is something new for me. Whenever I look at this palette, I just can't help but use the brighter colors in here. So today I want to do something a little neutral. I may throw a little spin in there somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna play. It's gonna be new and fresh, and I do have my window open because it's very warm and toasty in my house. I'm gonna first go into the shade Incense. The reason it is stuffy in my house is because my hubby is home from the hospital. Finally, he got home. You guys are seeing this Friday of this week, so when you guys are seeing this, he will have gotten home the previous Saturday. Wow, that packed a punch, didn't it? Let's blend really well, shall we? As per usual, he was a stinker, and I had laid down to take a nap. I've been like unusually tired lately, I'm sure for a lot of reasons, and next thing I am aware of, I feel someone shaking my toes, which my kids, they know, do not wake me from a nap unless somebody's on fire or somebody is bleeding. So my kids don't ever hardly wake me up from a nap unless they really need something, and I look up and there is my hubby. What a stinker. He is such a stinker that way. He loves to surprise me. He loves shock value, the whole thing. So I was just so excited when I saw him. I didn't have any idea he was coming home on Saturday. I thought maybe it was a possibility that he would come home Sunday or Monday. He's been through a lot over the last almost 2 weeks that he was in the hospital. And so, you know, he's still not feeling well. Next, going to go into one of my favorite browns in my collection, to be honest. This shade right here called Volatile. Anyhow, he's home. I'm so happy to have him home. I'm so happy to be able to take care of him. I do have a little bit of a medical background. I don't know, it's just very hard for me when one of my family members, as in my hubby or my kiddos, are sick and I can't be there to help care for them in some way. And, you know, it just wasn't a possibility while Brian was at the hospital. So I'm just glad to have him home. I'm glad to be able to take care of him. I'm glad to be able, you know, just to have the peace of mind of seeing him, see how he's doing and things like that. So I'm going to go back into Incense and then just run this along the lower lash line here. He's got still a long road ahead of him in terms of, you know, taking care of himself and getting back to normal. Whatever that is. So easy. I love these two mattes in this palette. One shade I hardly ever use though, however, is this shade right here called Dazzling. I'm not sure why, because it's definitely my jam. It's kind of taupey. So I'm going to put that all over the lid. For me, I think ABH shimmers apply best on me with the old phalange. I also find too, when I apply ABH shadows with my finger, I don't get as much texture showing up on my eyelid as if I used a brush. Now I feel like with a teeny tiny brush, I'm just going to put the smallest amount of Dreamer on the inner part of the lid here, bonk, just to sort of brighten up and give a little bit of a fade to the eye. I'm not going to bring it up in the transition area as I normally do. I just want a tiny bit of a difference, as you can see here, between the inner lid and the rest of the lid. See? Just a little bit of brightening there. And then same brush, I've just wiped it off a bit. Funny story, this is the brush that comes with the Rimmel Scandalize palettes. I used to have the Jewel Rocks edition, and I just love this brush. I love that it has a sponge tip on one end, and then it has a very really small pinched soft brush on the other side, and it's perfect for inner corner work or just getting in those little crevices. I'm going to take the shade Base for my inner corner. Definitely a favorite inner corner shade, as I said in my previous look. It's just, I don't know, it's pretty. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's mostly matte. I wouldn't even go so far as to say that it's a satin, but it's very brightening and beautiful. It looks like it could be, you know, a shimmer shadow. I've been trying soap brows. My brows need maintenance, holy moly, but I've been trying soap brows. Let me know if you'd like to see how I do it in a video, like a short video on soap brows, or if you want me to just include it in a upcoming get ready with me. What I really wanted to do is put Soul, well, first of all, really close up on the lower lash line, but I was thinking about maybe doing a fade between the darkest matte and the lid shade. So let's just try it and see. I'm going to start on the lower lash line with a flat definer brush and the shade Soul. I love this shade Soul. It's so pretty. One of my favorites for sure. And I'm just going to really press this up against the lower lash line and then fade that in toward the inner part of the eye. I think maybe I'll take the same brush that I used for the deepest matte and just pat a little bit up there and see what we come up with. Cross your fingers, please. Are they crossed? Ooh, that looks nice. I like that. Just a whisper. Oh, I like that a lot. That's pretty. All right, that is it for the eyeshadow. I'm gonna pop off of here, do some liner and mascara and a lip, and we'll come back and wrap up the video, peeps. Ta-da, here we are. So this is the completed look. I finished off the look with some standard products. I used my Wet n Wild Kohl eyeliner in Simma Brown now. Crack myself up. This is the Pixie Eye Bright Liner in Nude for my waterline, and my Milk Kush mascara. I think she's starting to dry out. I'm sad about it. Finished off my brows with some soap. Again, let me know if you want a video on that. And for lips, I filled in my lips with my Holy Grail MAC lip liner in Whirl, and I topped it with the Bobbi Brown Crushed Oil Infused Gloss in Free Spirit. So I love how this look turned out. I love that I'm not wearing foundation today. My face just feels fresh. I really like the little accent of the blue shade Soul. If you're wondering about how to use that shade, I know that's one of the shades in this palette that you guys have repeatedly asked me how I go about using, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy seeing how I revive some old palettes and create new looks, and I hope that if you are wearing makeup, that all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days. Stay safe, stay well, and I will see you in my next video real soon.